Welcome to the Uninkable Dads, the channel that brought you budget green steel before green steel was a thing. This week, we uncover the soup saboteur who disrupted the official Disney Lorcana lorecast. Who could that be? Stay tuned to find out. Inkable or uninkable, it is up to you. Welcome back. This week on the pod, we bring you the Aggro Killer Deck Tech, some of the key new cards revealed for Whispers in the Well, all the news on the upcoming Lorcana sets, of course our Art Matters game, and your chance to enter our 500 subscriber giveaway. Joining me for this journey into the unknown, as always, is the man who single-handedly was responsible for derailing the official Disney Lorecast by asking that all-important question: if you're a soup, what kind of soup would you be? He's proof that even in the most serious Lorcana discussions, chaos will always find a way. And tonight he's back, ready to mispronounce every gargoyle name in the new set, like he's summoning something from a cookbook. It's FPS Madness.
Hey. Yeah, well, you can't get those important questions in there, They were building up to telling us exactly what was going to come out in Whispers. I was like, no one wants to know about Whispers.
Get the important questions out.
Let us know. So basically, the Lorecast was obviously on, and I went straight in there, and I was like, no, come on. Greg is obviously the Director of Communications for Disney, and JDZ, which is obviously one of the casters and the host of DLCs. He obviously streams himself and stuff. Like, we need to find out, if these guys were going to be a soup, we need to know what soup they were going to be. So I had to ask the all-important question. And they did. They managed to get a response to us. So,
really important question in the chat.
If you were soup, what kind of soup would you be?
Oh, man. I mean, tomato basil?
Or probably broccoli cheddar.
Broccoli cheddar.
Yeah,
wow, that would be your soup of choice.
Or maybe like a lobster bisque. Maybe is that a soup? Or probably broccoli cheddar, or maybe like a minestrone or something.
Ooh, wow! You're just throwing soups out there. You're like, a potato leak,
an onion, like an onion.
A French onion soup.
French onion soup
would
be quite good.
Yeah, mostly with the cheese.
Yeah,
it's all about the burnt cheese.
I mean, that's a very deep question. I mean, the soup says a lot about you as a person.
Yeah,
like what you're made of. Would you like to be a thick, hearty soup, or maybe like a liquidy, watery soup? Maybe like a miso.
I do like miso soup too. I'm just a soup. That's why I'm excited about sweater weather and this being the fall and all of that, because I've made so many soups in the last 2 weeks. I made chili last night.
I also had chili 2 days ago.
Actually Sunday. It was Sunday night. Yeah, so good stuff. Right? It's keeping you warm. And
I don't think JZT could make his mind up what soup he wanted to be. I think he named about 12 soups in about 10 seconds.
We might have to reach out to him and say, look, come on, pick one.
Yeah, that's it. Come on, you picked too many soups. We need you to narrow this down. But yeah, Greg definitely went with, we'll go with his first one. It's tomato and basil, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Basil.
So,
yeah, that's an interesting choice. We'll add it to our list. So that's another one to chalk up there as a soup question. So, but yeah, I'm so glad I managed to get the question across to him. So interrupting, just before everyone found out about Whispers, we also now know what soup they would want to be. So
yeah. So if you were sitting there, biting your nails, raring to hear the news, there you go. It was FPS Madness that made you wait those extra few minutes.
That's my fault.
But when you're not disrupting official lorecasts, what else have you been up to this week?
Not a lot this week, to be fair. Obviously, we had home set champs on Saturday. Unfortunately, didn't do very well. I took a Ruby Amethyst deck because I was expecting a lot of aggro, and there was. I ran into quite a lot of it. I basically, out the 5 rounds, played 3 rounds of aggro and 2 rounds into Blurple. I was expecting the Blurple matches to be really difficult, and they were easier than the aggro was, which was bit weird, which then made me wonder whether in a room full of Blurple, whether that deck could actually do quite well. I basically went down the route of any one drop, doesn't matter which. I had multiple in there. Singer 4 power line, Singer 5 max goof, and then Sing second start of turn 4. And that just gives you so much card advantage. It just puts you ahead of the game. And then from there, you can start trading things out because you don't really mind if you lose stuff on board because you're just about to play another 5 or 6 things anyway. It was very low curve. It was, I think, 90% of the cards were 4 or less. and just so that way you could literally just spam the cards to the board. So it worked quite well. It's just unfortunately it didn't do what it was meant to do in the aggro matchups. I had the Mulan shift in there and B King and loads of answers to stuff, but I just didn't do anything. I had loads of cards. That was about it. It's like, aggro deck. I've got 12 cards in hand. None of them are on the board. None of them are doing me any good. But yeah. But other than that, it's pretty good. I mean, I think you had a slightly better weekend.
So I was just going to say, how many copies of Second Star did you play? Because if you need to find 3, yeah.
Yeah, it's 3 B King, 3 Pirate's Life, and 3 Second Star. Because I had Half Shock in there as well. So it worked. Like I said, I pulled off the combo of getting Second Star out on start 10 for about 5-6 times. It works. It's just the issue is in the aggro deck, it meant I've got stuff in my hand, but nothing on the board. So, whereas in the Blurple matchup, it actually worked really well because I had loads of stuff in my hand, went really wide on the board, and then managed to then quest. And when they start challenging back, I then got a couple of the Mulan shifts off. And I was running the Lumiere as well. So Mulan was hitting for like 6 or 7 sometimes. So then that's just takes out pretty much anything on their side. So yeah, it was all right, but it wasn't quite there. A bit more practice with it maybe, but it was a one-off tech to try and overcome the aggro, and it didn't work. So I learned the hard way.
So my deck kind of went the opposite to yours, I think. So it went very, very well against aggro. I knew there'd be a fair bit of it about. My hope was, we've said on this podcast a few times before, your matchups are so important. So my hope was I was going to hit those matchups. I was going to hit aggro early, and then aggro was going to keep Blurple down, so that I would then stay away from Blurple until later on. And in Swiss, that worked like a charm. Yeah, so I played Amber Steel, Amber Steel, Amber Steel, Dogs. So I won all of those. So I was 4-0, and that sat down opposite, a friend of ours that we play at locals, who was also playing Dogs. Left him the decision as to whether we played it or took the draw. We were going to end up, I think, first and second.
Yeah, you were going to end up first and second anyway. Yeah.
And to be honest, I just wanted a break. more than
you were
anything,
the
I was
only
happy
2
to
on
play
4
the game.
so.
So yeah, we took the draw there, and then in the top 8, I think I drew about the only Blurple day. I didn't quite get to.
No, there was a couple of us. So there was
okay.
The Panos and someone else was playing Blurple. So basically, 2 of them bubbled out on percentages, and 1 of them sneaked in on a percentage.
Right.
So it was a rough day for Blurple.
Yeah. So I played against Matt, who's a very, very good player. Playing Blurple. He's been playing Blurple for a while, so I knew it was going to be a tough match. I mean, I was top seed going in, so I was going first. And actually, first game, I won quite easy. Second game, he just managed. I didn't find as much of a start, unfortunately. I had 3 1-drops, so I thought, well, okay, I've got no 2-drop, but I can try and just go under him. But unfortunately, I just burnt out of cards and didn't find the card draw to keep it going. I think I got Yzma down at one point, and he managed to get rid of it. And then game 3, I was going first, but he got the cards that he wanted to see effectively. So he saw 2 Elsas.
Vital in that matchup, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't quite see what I wanted, but I was still. I mean, I got to 18. He, again, a good player, right? So he knew what he needed in hand. But there was the point where he played down a Mim to bounce his Hades back. Mm-hmm. So I held back Yzma, hoping that he would Hades something else on my board. I thought I got enough on the board that he would try and Hades something, and I could then drop Yzma the turn after, because getting Yzma off once and I'd have won the game.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he had another Elsa in hand, so he was able to Elsa and get rid of Elsa and into the unknown to get rid of the Yzma, and that was it. I'm deploying 1 threat a turn, and he was taking out 1 threat, so couldn't quite go over the line there, on 18. But
No,
yeah,
you did extremely well, to be honest. Like you say, it's one of those ones of you built a deck to tech for aggro and tech into that meta, and that's exactly what you did. And like I say, it did extremely well. You got a little bit unlucky. If Matt had come 7th instead of 8th, because you were obviously top seed. If he had come 7th instead of 8th, it would have been you versus Purple Steel, which you'll probably get under it because you are the slightly you've got the mim and stuff to help, and B, you were going first because of seeding, so you would have had a really good chance there. So it would have been top 4, and I don't think you would have met Matt until the final. So you did get a little bit unlucky with where he placed, but yeah, no, it was. I got to admit, every time I come over, I was like, "How'd you do?" He was like, "You've won." I was like, "Nice. How'd you do?" "I won." "Yeah, no." "How'd you do?" "I won." "Yes." Right. We have an unequal dad in the top 8 because my day was just going downhill.
Which is so unfortunate because I know that looked like a really good deck, and I really, just just how it goes, right?
The idea was there. The idea was there, but unfortunately not.
But I think
we've also.
I think if somebody is playing either in their locals and they're you've got a locals that's all aggro, or you think you're going to walk into a room that is all aggro, I would honestly say these are the 60 cards to play against aggro. I mean, the Madam Mim was awesome. The fact that she makes your Captain Hook and your Rafiki hit for 4 was really important. It meant that there were times where I could just pay the 3 Tiana tax and take Tiana off the board. Done. Fine. You've had a slow turn where you haven't developed much, but you've got rid of that big awkward threat, and then you can just get on with the game. Calhoun, obviously great against aggro. Had to be a little bit careful with the giant cobra. Again, it's a great body against aggro, but if you're playing Amber Steel, they do play Father Cannon sometimes, and I forgot against dogs that they play improvise. So my first game against dogs, I lost Cobra to improvise, and then was very careful about how I played him after that. But
it's not too bad though. I mean, now I think spending to get rid of it, but
with Father Cannons, with Strength and Elsa, you just got so many tools to deal with stuff, and lots of card draw in here as well.
Exactly. Right. Well, I think the obviously the interview we did with Zach last week obviously helped you.
Definitely
the Purple Steel Master.
I was a bit
if you haven't
seen
that one and you do want to run Purple Steel, I'd recommend definitely checking that one out. But
absolutely, yes. Have a look.
Also, a list with no Dumbo.
Yeah, no Dumbo. I mean, Crawford Kana last week did say to us, you don't necessarily need Dumbo.
No.
It is a good card, but you don't necessarily need it. And the other thing he said was, don't play Father Cannon. So,
so you listened on one end and threw it out the window on the other.
Yeah, I was stubborn. It won't be in the list this weekend. It was good in those situations against aggro, but it kind of felt like, as I say, this deck was so tech against aggro. I was winning those games anyway. And then against Blurple, it's just horrendous.
Yeah, it's pretty much exactly what you said, wasn't it? It's like, it's in the aggro games, it's not going to do much. And then, but if that was a body instead, it probably would. So just by taking it out, it's like, it's also uninkable, so that you think of what decent uninkable cards you could fit in replacement to it. It's one of those ones of you either make your mulligan an easier job by dropping 2 uninkables and putting in inkables, or you got slot for 2 others. So yeah, I like it. I do really like it. Like I say, it might be one that I pick up for the last week's set champs. I'm running. I'm going back to Blackpool this week for my ones this weekend. I got one on Sunday, just because it's an unknown meta. I have no idea what anyone's going to be running, and that's the deck that I feel like I can deal with most things with. I have to be a little bit lucky with every matchup, but I don't know what my matchups are going to be. So I'd rather take something that, I'm a good 50-50 into everything and hope I can win it via my skill rather than, trying to tech for a meta that I don't know. So, yeah, that'd be an interesting one. But, yeah, we'll have a quick look at the ink tracker and the last week. And there's one thing to notice here that doesn't look very good for Blurple. It seems to be the overall win rate is dropping with this. And that seems to be more and more as Dogs seems to be climbing. Dogs is pretty much an auto lose for Blurple.
Yeah.
There's not much you can do. Turning one thing sideways with Elsa isn't going to help. Even if you hit Elsa into Elsa, you're dealing with three things. They probably paid 3 in one turn. It's not going to... I played against Dogs with my Ruby Amethyst, and even with that, I was like struggling to work out what I'd do. And it's like with Blurple, I was like, you've got no hope. They basically go wide enough that they quest twice in its game. So I think with Dogs going up and up, I think Blurple might start to come down. I feel like Purple still will take over and become the higher deck. I mean, in count-wise, it already has. So it'd be interesting to see whether the last 3 weeks of this set. So we've got this weekend, next weekend, and the following weekend. We've got 3 weeks left of this set, and to see if anything majorly changes. I don't think we've got any major tournaments in the last week. Obviously, we've only got this week and next week of set champs, so I don't think we'll really know on the last one. But yeah, watch out for set champs. There could be a bit of a meta shift. Aggro seems to be taking over at the minute. So talking about obviously only having 3 weeks left of this set, the new one is sneaking up on us. Whispers in the Well is getting closer and closer, and we do have our first set of reveals. So we're not going to look at all 40-odd cards that have been revealed. We've just got a couple that stood out to us straight off. And the first one we're going to have a look at is locations are back. So we've lost 2 sets not had locations in. I think, well, the reprints didn't they, technically, but there's no new locations. So yeah, the Great Illuminary, Abandoned Laboratory. So we already have a Great Illuminary location, I believe. So this is the second one. And, just in case Blurple or, Ruby Amethyst doesn't have enough card draw, have some more. So this was one of those cards that I saw a couple of people saying, no, it's only got 3 strength. It's not going to survive. And it's like, when it costs 1 to move something here, it doesn't need to. You pay this when you got 6 ink, move 4 things here and draw 4 cards. It's done its job. If you paid 2 ink, well, if you paid 6 ink and drew 4 cards, you'd be happy. So
the only thing is, are you happy to exert your board, gain no lore from it, and leave your whole board?
Yeah,
that's the only thing. It feels like quite a big cost for drawing cards.
It does, but in decks where card draw really matters, it's also an option, isn't it? So you could play this down and move 1 thing there, draw with it, and if you draw into what you need, you stop. Whereas if you don't, you could then move the next one and draw.
Yeah.
So it's it's almost a bit like Dumbo in a way. You just don't gain the lore from it. So. But yeah, it's a bit of an interesting one, but
also a way of making your opponent turn sideways, which might be useful.
Yeah, it does only take 3 to take it out, but still, if they don't, that's multiple card draw over multiple turns. So, like I say, if you're sticking your 1-drop in here that you really don't care about and turning it sideways, then it is card draw. So, going on from there. We have more card draw in purple. So we are back with, this is basically Maleficent, I believe it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was a 3-drop play draw card, wasn't it? So this is basically back to that, very similar. But more importantly, it's a shift target for Elsa. So Maleficent was good, but it didn't have that shift. Whereas now this, obviously, unfortunately, the top meta deck currently, Blurple, would be pretty good. I don't know if there's any other Elsas that you'd want to shift.
Yeah, I get the only thing.
The thing is that it's free cost, isn't it? No.
Yeah. And Maleficent was played because she could then sing Friends.
Whereas
you
no
know,
friends.
we
So
don't have friends, so
no.
it's a bit, yeah, like
It
you
might
say,
be better in Ruby Amethyst, in fairness,
you know, it's
because they do have that free cost curve, don't they? So
yeah, and then at least it's coming out on curve, but it's just it doesn't really do anything
no, it's quite
after it's come
slow.
out, right?
But
It replaces itself, which is nice. As
I
you say,
suppose actually thinking about it, in Ruby Amethyst it would be quite good because you could play this on 3, Mim on 4, return this,
yeah,
so it's done its job, and then you can ink it. So yeah, in the right deck it's possible, but I don't think it's anything major. I think this is one of the league promos. The next set.
yeah.
We've gone with quite dark theming, which is quite nice.
Yeah, it is quite different, isn't it?
Hmm.
Yeah, I quite like it, but it reminds me of the
Tesla's Return.
yeah, the Deep Trouble.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, I don't know whether we're starting to gear up towards that next big villain set. No. We also have epics confirmed for next set. This was a Gaston. And also we have the new mechanic boost. So this is a 2-cost uninkable Gaston, 3/3, cost for 1, but he has the ability boost 2. So whenever this character quests, if there is a card underneath him, chosen opposing character can't challenge and must, if able to, during the next turn. I must quest if able to during the next turn, which is very weird. It's like you can't challenge me and you must quest. But I suppose
guess
it helps
means
with you've got to turn sideways.
Yeah. But I
So
mean,
it
I
might-
love it when a new mechanic drops because I can now misplay in even more creative ways. But this boost mechanic is all about paying whatever the boost cost is. So in this case, it's 2 ink to put a card, the top card from your deck, under this character. It goes face down, so you don't see what the card is, unless the character says it goes face up, because there is a character that says that. But it goes face down, and then the character's boost is activated, whatever that boost ability is. So yeah,
I think that there's going to be cards that boost cards for you. So like boost something, and you get to pick sort of thing. I think I don't really see how this is going to see play. You know, it's basically to get it to work, you've got to spend 4 ink.
Yeah, and then you've got to choose a specific character that can't challenge. So if they've got 2 good challengers on their side of the board, great. You choose one that can't challenge, the other one takes this out.
Oh, we haven't had this confirmed, but wild theory here. What if once the character on top was removed, you flip the one over on the bottom?
Yeah, we
And
haven't.
if it's a character, it sticks.
We're apparently going to get a document that's going to explain boost fully.
Yeah, that could be
that's
cool.
going to come out. So
imagine like you take something off, put it underneath, and if it's the same ink or less, when the top one gets banished, if it's the same ink or less than the card on top, it just gets flipped over and stays there.
Interesting. Yeah, I guess we've all been thinking. I mean, the consensus has been that the cards move with the card that they're under. So if the card gets banished, then the cards underneath get banished as well. If the cards
for Hades or Into the Unknown
Inkwell by Hades, then cards under it go as well. That's the assumption we were working on, but it is only an assumption. We haven't had it confirmed as yet. Who knows?
Yeah. So there you go. So if I'm right, you've heard it here first. The stack and trap cards. So moving on from there, another promo, which is Scar. He's a 5-cost uninkable, 6/5, so big stats on this. Whenever you put a card under this character, chosen opposing character gets -5 strength, and that's a boost 2. So you can play him next turn, boost him for 2, and something to get -5, and you can challenge him for 6. That's a pretty hefty trade, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a pretty hefty trade. I mean, we're playing a completely different game than the current meta is to play this, because that's very slow. And you're only You're only
In all
reducing
fairness, it does
strength.
say whenever you put a card under this character. It doesn't say when you quest or anything. So technically, for 7, you could play it and boost it on the same turn.
Yeah. Yeah, you could, but yeah, that's a lot for 7 ink.
Yeah, it gives something -5.
Just give something -5. I mean, if they haven't turned their board sideways, it's completely and utterly useless.
Yeah, I mean, a 5 for 5 cost, a 6/5 at quest for 2 is still pretty good, to be fair. It's still a
It's
hefty
got some
card
good
to get rid of,
stats.
isn't it? I love the card art on this as well. I think
the
the
art's
blue and black
stunning.
theming is absolutely next level.
Yeah, I must
This has
admit
got to be an epic as well, isn't it?
Yeah, that'd be lovely. It'd be amazing. I must admit the artwork they've put into the promos. I mean, the artwork in the set looks amazing all round, but the artwork they've put into promos all of those promos I've seen so far just look like, I want that card.
Yeah, definitely. So up next we have our first look at an enchanted. Do you want to run us through this one?
Yeah, so this is Demona from Gargoyles. So I have seen Gargoyles, but it was many years ago, so it's on my watch list to
I might have to watch
up on. It's a Scourge of the Wyvern Clan. She's a 6-cost inkable, 5/6 body, quest for 2. She has 2 abilities, which I can't read on the screen, and I can not quite remember it. So you'll have to help me. I know that. There we go. That helps. So when you play this character, exert all opposing characters. Then each player with fewer than 3 cards in their hand draws until they have 3. So so you get to exert your opponent's entire board. So interesting in a meta where a lot of things are standing still. Each player then gets to refill their hand. So that if you're playing this out as the last card in your hand, that's fantastic. But you could also be giving your opponent cards. Then because Demona is a gargoyle, she has the ability Stone by Day. So this is really nice sort of flavour to this. So all of the gargoyles, I believe, are going to have this ability on them. If you have 3 or more cards in your hand, this character can't ready. So the idea of them turning to stone by day. So they turn to stone. They can't ready. You can't use them next turn. So you have to have less than 3 cards. So 2 cards or less in your hand at the start of your turn. So it's before your draw phase. So ready, set, draw. This is checked at the ready point. So really interesting card. I don't know what you think. I don't think this actually sees that much play.
No, I think it's okay. In a world up against decks that have loads of cards in hand and you don't, possibly maybe purple steel, this is fine. You could almost use it as a dock. You play this out as your last card and draw 3, but I'm just not sure on it. I mean, it also says that they can't ready, so obviously she would come in ready anyway. So you could then exert her next turn to quest. So there's nothing stopping you from doing that or challenging. It's only if you have other gargoyles that it would stop. So her on her own in the deck might actually be okay. But it is a 6 cost, quite high. That's the only issue. So I'm not sure. I think we have to wait until we see what other cards are and whether there's anything that synergizes with this. But currently, I think it's okay, but it's not. It's not like definitely going to be in every deck sort of thing. Yeah. Up next, we have a card that I believe could really impact the meta and bring back a deck that I am hoping will come back. Anyone that is a fan of red blue will already probably have seen this card and is hoping. Look, there's even red and blue in the card art. Look, you got a little bit of blue here, a little bit of red. See, they're hinting at it. So this is the 2-cost Next Stop Olympus. It's an action. When you play this character, if you have a character of 5 strength or more in play, you may pay 2 ink less to play this action. So basically, if you have a 5 or more in play, you don't pay anything to play this. You just play it. Which is the first thing I think I've seen where we paid 0 for something. I mean, we've got like the Aurora and stuff like that, but Pluto, which can help bring costs down. But this is the first thing that almost just plays itself for free straight away. And its ability is ready chosen character. They can't quest for the rest of the turn. Next time they challenge another character, they gain 1 law. So my instant thought was Maui Shark. Just jumped at me straight away. He's a 7, so it triggers this. So you attack with Maui, bring this back, play this for free, give Maui an extra law when he challenges, and you gain a law because you played an action. You challenge again, you bring this back, and you keep going until Maui's banished.
Yeah,
So,
look, red blue was dead. Leave it dead.
We
didn't need this back.
I also thought of the combo which no one commented on in our group chat, and I was really disappointed. I was like, I've made this brilliant combo. Maui sings, head held high, everything on the opponent's board gets -3. Then you play this, and then Maui just goes nuts. Yeah, doesn't take any damage from, well, most of the time it's not going to take damage from anything, and he just clears up the board and gains like 6-7 law. You know, what more could you want?
Because he gains 1 law for the fact that you played the action as well, doesn't he? So
and then 1 law for the challenge.
2. Oh. Yeah, this is.
Yeah, red blue's back. Red blue's back.
This is not.
There's another card coming up which I think definitely will steal the deal. So we have our first look at our very first iconic for Whispers, and it's not a Mickey or Minnie. This took a lot of people by surprise. There's a couple of cards on the box that people thought it was going to be, but good old Hades.
Yeah, I was surprised. Happy to see it.
Yeah.
Love Hades as a character. But yeah, surprised because he got an enchanted in the last set, which was absolutely awesome. So didn't expect him to get something else in this set. But yeah, love it. I mean, I think everything about the artwork in this card, the colours go so well together. I love the fact that he's got his hand popping out slightly, over the top of the 3 strength to give it that 3D effect. Lots of little detail within the card. Really, really smart card. I can't wait to see it in real life, actually, as well. Because
hopefully, yeah. Fortunately, I don't think I've seen it on Mickey or Minnie yet in real life, but it's really annoying because the Mickey and Minnie I looked at, I was like, that's a nice card. I'd sell it on future sets. I looked at this and went, I would struggle to sell this. I would be like, I don't want to get rid of it. So yeah, this is Hades looking for a deal, and his ability, would you say, when you play this character, you may choose an opposing character. If you do, draw 2 cards unless the character's player puts that card at the bottom of the deck. So basically, you've got a card on board, I choose it, your choice. That goes to the bottom, or I draw 2. I mean, that is such a it works so well with the text of it, looking for a deal. It's like, I'll make you a deal. You stick that at the bottom, or I'm drawing 2. It's like 5 cost as well. I think this definitely 6 play. This is going to be so good. These are on the same slide, so they've come in as a package deal here, which is obviously Prince Charming and Cinderella. So we'll look at Prince Charming first. So he's a 7-cost inkable 3/10. He is a hero and a prince, and he's a bodyguard. So nothing out of the ordinary there. We've seen bodyguards. We've seen quite well-stated bodyguards. But he has the ability, protective presence. Each turn, only 1 character can challenge. This makes a big, big difference. I mean, he's got 10 willpower. That's a lot of willpower. Half Shark can't take the same one.
No,
And if you
need
can
the
only
Mickey
challenge
Mouse.
with Harsher, it's like, yeah, what do you do? Obviously, there are ways of dealing with it. You've got Hades into the unknown. You know, there's ways of getting it off board. And once it's off board, then you can challenge with multiple. So 7 costs, I think, is probably the major downside to this. Unless you're going to put it in blue steel where you can ramp to it. But other than that, I think that might be a little bit high.
Yeah.
It is inkable though, so
I think it has to go in blue steel, which is a shame because probably the deck you want it in is some kind of purple steel deck where you can then move the damage
yeah,
off of him. Because if you could then bring Bell down, move 3 damage off him to take out something else, you shore up his willpower, and then they can only challenge with 1 character again next turn. That could be quite useful.
Yeah, I mean, it does say each turn only 1 character can challenge. It doesn't mean that character can't challenge multiple times. So when you get back into that red card that readies it up and it can challenge again, then you're only looking at a 5 cost and that card to take it out, which isn't too bad. So yeah, there's possibilities. The second one is the Cinderella Dream Come True. Now this is a 4 cost uninkable in Sapphire, which is a 2 strength 3 willpower. Quest for 1, so nothing major there. It's her ability that really changes things. So whatever you wished for, at the end of your turn, if you played a princess character this turn, you may put the put a card from your hand into your inkwell face down, which means you can use it straight away, but it's the end of your turn, so it doesn't matter, to draw a card. So basically, you ink something from your hand and draw at the end of your turn. On first look, I thought this was okay, but you could then got to play a princess next turn to get benefit from it. And then I realised it doesn't say other princess or anything that stops this card triggering from itself. So basically, this is a 4 cost. You play it, and the end of your turn, you ramp and draw. So I think this could be extremely good, and I think this is the middle game ramp that Red Blue needed. We lost Tiana and Alpha, and this kind of replaces both in one. It gives you a body, draws you a card, and puts something in the ink all in one turn. And then you can use it as a singer next turn if you wanted to, or you can play another princess and trigger it again. So I think this definitely has a playability in it, and I think for me this is probably one of the best legendaries so far that have been announced. Just because I think it does so well on its own. It's only then when you compare it with other things that it could become even better. So, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, totally agree. And the artwork on it screams enchanted to me. And what an enchanted this would be, as you say. I think it's a very playable card. It's a princess, amazing artwork. So yeah, this could be an absolute chase card, especially if it does come out as an enchanted. But yeah,
100%.
I mean, in a deck, either red blue or even blurple, it is putting a body on the board. It's not the greatest body, but it's putting a body on the board at 4, and helping you with that ramp, while maintaining your hand size. So yeah, it's the absolute ideal card. I think in where you want to get to those bigger characters, you want that additional ramp, but you can't afford to just,
can't afford
stick
double
another sail down or double sail or whatever, because you're not building any form of board presence. This looks very strong.
Yeah, I had a look earlier today, and the only decent princess is currently, obviously we're still waiting for a lot of reveals, in blue and red would be a Belle, so you have to play a Belle or a Aurora. So you could potentially play the Ward line, which isn't normal for red blue, but it's not unheard of. Or if we have a decent item, you could potentially then bring back the banishing item Belle. So there, that would give us a really good option. And then obviously Red Blue is obviously known to do quite well with its items, so if there is a decent item, then that could really pick up. So yeah, definitely one to watch. That's definitely on my watch list. I will definitely not be sad if I pull a couple of these on day one. So moving on from there, we have Daisy Duck. So this card, first of all, I'll let you take it through it, and then we'll have a look at it.
And this is going to be the challenge card as well, I believe. Is it not?
Yes, set champs.
Set champs card. So it is a 6-cost inkable, 4/6 body, questing for 2 lore, shift 4. So you can pay 4 ink to shift this on top of another Daisy Duck card. Has support, so whenever it quests, it's giving its 4 strength to another character. And then an ability, Strange Happenings. While this character is exerted, cards enter opponent's inkwells exerted. So it's kind of an anti-ramp. So if you, let's say you could shift it and quest with it, so it is then exerted. Your next turn, your opponent inks for turn. That ink has to go into their inkwell exerted, so they can't use that ink that turn. So if they were on, if they were on 6 ink and they're going to 7 to play Hades, they can't play Hades because the ink isn't available to them. It's a really interesting mechanic. So what do you think?
I think it's also, I think as a card itself, it's okay. And then when you look at the support, I think that's what really adds to this. Because, I don't see it necessarily in Blurple, just because the shift 4 means you have to have a Daisy on board. I'm not sure on it, but there's a chance that potentially in Amber Blue, you could use your Daisy early to get that lore. When it's looking like it's going to be taken out, you could quest with it and then shift this. You still gain 2 and the draw thing if you want to try and shift out a card. Or if you have something on board that you can challenge with, you could shift this, then quest, give the +4, which is a massive amount in that deck. Normally that deck doesn't run anything with high stats. And then challenge into something. But I don't know, it's just something about that fact that the opponent's ink comes and exerted, If you do get this down on 4, that means their turn 5 is dead. They've basically got 2 turn 4s. And if they don't get rid of this, they've then got a turn 5 on turn 6. They've got a turn 6 on turn 7. They're basically 1 behind the entire time. So yeah, this could make real interesting. You then pair this with something like potentially in green and potentially ink geyser, knock them back down to 3 and stop them from ramping back up. That could be devastating. So I think this card definitely has legs on it, and I think this could do something in the right deck. Going to be a bit of an odd one. I don't think it's going to be like a straightforward, this is a 4 in a deck, but it definitely has an opportunity, I feel.
Yeah.
And yeah, here's the set champs version.
Which again, superb artwork. She looks a bit serious on this one, so she's doing some serious detecting. But also keywords, we never know how relevant keywords will be, but hero and detective feel like they're strong keywords. Hero's always been quite a strongish keyword. We know there's quite a few detective cards coming out in this set, so we're expecting there to be some detective synergy.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think it's definitely got options. I just don't know quite where it fits at the minute. But until we have more cards revealed, I think this is definitely one that's a possibility. So that is all the reveals we have, but we do have some Lorcana news going forward. So obviously we now have a release date for Winterspell. So Winterspell is a set after Whispers. And yeah, February 13th. So this is a happy Valentine's. Have some shiny cardboard.
Definitely, but it's
That's what we're hoping, isn't it?
It's a pre-release. You get to take the other half out.
Yeah, I'm just hoping all stores use their brain.
Yeah, you don't want to go out on the 14th. It's crowded, love. Everyone's doing that.
Yeah,
We can go down.
You want to come play
local
Pack
game
Crush
store
at
on the
locals.
13th. Yeah.
I'm hoping all the local game stores use their brain with this one and say, look, let's not hold an event on the Saturday. Let's do an event on the Sunday, because you might get a lot more people turn up on the Sunday than you will the Saturday. Doing an event on February the 14th as a Saturday, you're probably not going to be very busy. Or if you are, you've got a lot of people into trouble. There's a lot of people buying a lot of flowers.
It might work, right? Because you get all those husbands down there on the Saturday, the divorces follow, and then the husbands have got nothing to do, so they're down there every weekend from then on.
Maybe that's the plan. It's to build up the player base in local game stores. Get everyone divorced, and they'll all be there playing. That's the plan. Yeah. So, I'm really excited for this one. This one does look really good.
I've seen a couple of cards come out so far. I love the flavour they're building into some of these cards is just awesome. So we had Surfer Stitch early on in Lorcana. We've got Snowboarder Stitch in Winterspell, which I just think is absolutely fantastic. Love that. The artwork looks great. That trove looks beautiful.
I think it's definitely going to be fitting. Normally for us, if it ever snows here, it always snows around my birthday, which is February. So it's perfect. It's literally timing it perfectly. So one of the cards from this is actually Angel. So this is the first time we're seeing Angel in Disney Lorcana, and this is interesting because we're starting a whole new thing here of the whole going first and dice roll situation, because this has the ability Underdog, which tells me that there's a potential a few cards may get this, because it's not like it's an ability that seems to be linked to Angel as such. It feels like it's a generalized one. If this is the first turn and you're not the first player, you pay one less to play this character. So basically 2 ink drops down to 1. So it becomes a 1-drop. 2/2, Singer free. It's basically Cindy that we lost. Cindy was a 1/2, I think. So, yeah. So it's a tiny bit better. But if you're going first, this then isn't as good. So are we gonna end up towards that thing that I've been saying for ages of build a deck that does well going second, and you'll go second every time?
Yeah. I'm not sure we'll
don't
get
bother
there
with 1-drops, just slapping loads of underdogs.
Yeah, but I think this. Yeah, I'm not sure we're there. We could be there. We'd need a lot more sort of cards.
Yeah, obviously this is only one card that we know.
But I think what this does do is it just gives you some insurance against going second. Again, it's inkable. We always say tech cards, if they're inkable, they're a lot better. You could have probably afford to play this in a deck and just use it as ink if you're going first, but it gives you that little bit of ability to turn the board around if you are going second. I think right now, if this card was available right now, I'm pretty sure you slap it straight in Amber Steel.
Yeah,
because you say I'm winning that matchup going first. Anyway,
it's back to that 1-cost Singer free. If you're going second, you've got a Singer free on board, and your opponent doesn't, and that's a massive advantage. They're playing their Troubadour on 2, getting ready to be able to sing, and you've already got that Singer on board. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Obviously, we've got the entirety of Whispers still to come yet. That could obviously then make this card not very good. We've also then got the entire set that this is in, so we don't really know until we get there. But it's interesting that they're starting to address that. They're starting to bring in cards that do have an ability when going second. So yeah, I thought it was an interesting one. But yeah, that is all of the spoilers we're going to cover. Like we said, there are so many out there. If you haven't seen them, the best place is probably to check out Facebook. We try and post as many as we can on Facebook. And also, you've got Discord. Discord is another good place to keep up with all the reveals. But going on how stunning the artwork is, it's time for our Art Matters game. So last week, we had Zach Crawford on, and he is a teacher. So we said, Art Matters, pick from artwork alone, who would be your favourite substitute teacher? So going first, we have Olaf. So Bev commented in on this one and wanted Olaf. Unfortunately, they didn't leave us a reason why. But do you need a reason when it's Olaf?
Exactly. I mean, I must admit, Olaf was on my shortlist, so yeah, good choice, Bev. I mean, he's just so much fun, isn't he? Right? Yeah. As a substitute teacher, he's going to come in. You're going to have a fun. You're probably going to have a sing song. You're probably going to be throwing some snowballs about the room against each other. So yeah,
and giving out loads of warm hugs. You know.
Absolutely.
What more could you want? So going on from there, the next one up was Big Noodle, and his one was Ariel, human on legs. Now, he kind of not cheated, but you know, he kind of used what he knows a little bit. So his reasoning for Ariel was that she doesn't have a voice, so she can't tell us what to
say. Yes.
So
very good.
But yeah, I like it. You know, a teacher that's going to sit there and just not say anything and let you do what you want. So another good one. So Frazzle picked Grandma Tala. Now, I thought this was quite an interesting one. They said that she would be very knowledgeable and have some really good stories. You know, that teacher that doesn't teach you anything, just sits there and talks for the entire thing, but you're like locked in on everything they say. So, yeah, I thought that was a really good one.
Yeah, I think it's a good choice.
I think it's one of ours next. So, oh no, one more. So, Joe picked Augustin.
Augustin Madrigal, yeah.
That's the one.
Clumsy dad.
So he said that he doesn't look like he'll be taking it too seriously. He's going to be laid back. You know, I'm here to teach. If you don't want to learn, don't worry. You know, so I thought that was a good one.
Yeah,
and then I asked,
that clumsy is knocking stuff about. Everybody's laughing at him.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, a nice fun lesson. I did ask my other half, and I said, go on then, Art Matters, substitute teacher, and straight to Bell. Special but strange. She's got that book there, gonna keep everyone mesmerized and really focused in. So yeah, I thought it was a good one. And for my one, I went a little bit off. So I actually took music in school. I actually did GCSE music. I learned to play drums and I think I duetted on someone else's piece of music. Can't sing. They could, I couldn't. But I tried to help out. So I saw the trumpet and I was like, do you know what? Yeah, let's go with the trumpeter. Yeah, let's go with that. So, and then your one, I haven't actually seen yours.
So yeah, I've gone with this one because he's going to do a lesson about science. He's quite knowledgeable about science. And he's an alien, and who doesn't want an alien as a substitute teacher? So we've got Pleakley. Scientific
Pleakley.
expert.
Nice. Yeah, Pleakley is a good one. Yeah. And, you know, when you've had enough of seeing an alien, you can shapeshift and go and use this little thing, turn to a human. Yeah. Very nice, very nice. So that was this week's Art. So next week's Art Matters game, just because, you know, life comes round, and unfortunately I had to book my car MOT today, so we're going with which character would you trust to fix your car? So Art Matters alone, which character would you say that's my mechanic? So yeah, let us know in the comments below. And talking about comments, I just want to give a massive shout out to everyone that is listening over on Spotify. I have checked out the numbers recently, and there's so many people listening, and we don't give you guys a shout out. We always talk about YouTube, so I just want to say a massive thank you for everyone who does. I know someone did comment on one of the Art Matters game a few weeks ago, and I missed it because I forgot to check the Spotify comment. So I will try and remember to do that every week. So yeah, if you are listening on Spotify, a big massive thank you for doing that. And yeah, so comment below in YouTube or Spotify, and let us know your Art Matters for next week. Who would you want as your mechanic?
Yeah, and remember, we've got our YouTube 500 subscriber giveaway.
Yeah, that's picking up pretty quick.
But if you're listening on Spotify, you can get in on the action as well. And if you're on YouTube, you can nip over to Spotify and get yourself another entry. So make sure you check it out in the description below. There'll be a link to the giveaway site, which has got the instruction on there of how to join in. But make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. We know an awful lot of people are watching and are not subscribed, so you might think you're subscribed. Make sure that you are. Make sure that you leave us a comment below. Get yourself in that draw for some Lorcana goodies.
Yeah. Obviously, it currently says 77 days left. Don't worry about this. It's basically when we hit 500. And I'm getting there. I think we're up to about 450-ish now. So we are getting close. So 50 people who watch this video, if you haven't subscribed, go down there, hit that subscribers, and we could be doing this next week. Let's see. Can we close it out in 1 week?
Yeah, if you want us to give away some goodies, get subscribed. Also, share this video with friends that are into Lorcana. That will help up the subscriber numbers as well. We very much appreciate it. We can give you some goodies. We thank you for watching and staying with us through to the end. If you are able to give this video a like as well, that all helps the channel.
Definitely. So that is it for this week. So as always, it's time to roll up that playmat.
Hack away the dice.
And remember, stay uninkable.
See you next time.
We'll see you next time.